Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for all of you joining us and your solidarity to the Black Lives Matter movement. I'll give you a brief introduction of myself. I am originally from India. I live here in Cambridge with my three children and my wife, who is a nurse. And I professionally a solicitor. I'm the first Asian councillor at Cambridge City Council. No, I'm not going to give you a detailed background of myself, but I will straight away come into the issue what we are facing now. I believe racism has been there and it has been institutionalized. This is something we have to tackle it down. You won't believe it. If you're a black or an ethnic minority member, you're 4 times more likely than to get stopped and searched by police. And if you are a black graduate, they will get 23% less wages than a white similar qualified professional. And look at the criminal justice system. Do we have an equal system? I don't believe we have an equal system here. And I don't even believe it is all because of George Floyd. We were suppressed, and we brought to a stage where we cannot go any longer. And the people have stood up and said, enough is enough. Now, the duty lies with you and I is, let us not this momentum wither away from us. We have to do something creatively where equal opportunity and racism can be burned down to the ground. And I give you one example, something which I am fighting against since I know Daniel, somewhere about 10 years ago. South Indian nurses, they are part of our healthcare system. I know somewhere around 8,000 nurses who have qualified, come from India, southern part of India, working in this country and working in our healthcare system, working in our NHS, looking after our sick and elderly population of this country, have been denied being a nurse of this nurse in our country. I have fought it when Daniel helped us to conduct a parliament lobbying, and we have been to this NMC regulator simply because these people have born in India, they have been denied to become a nurse in this country. They have created or they have made such regulations whereby these nurses can never be a nurse. They do work in the NHS hospital, they do work in the private healthcare sector, yet they have been said, you cannot speak English. Can you believe this? You are working with an employer in an NHS hospital, working for 10 years. Not 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. You are looking after the elderly people. You are communicating with professionals. Yet, the regulator turned back and said to them, you cannot speak English. It is white supremacy. It has to be called out. And it has to be burned to ground. It is our duty, your duty, and my duty. We don't want this rhetoric. We don't want these kind of rhetorics. We want policies. That policies where the people can live equally. Where my son, where I, and my wife, and all of our community, all of our people, no matter white, black, what race they are, we should have a decent life, an equal life, where all of us feel that we belong to the society. And I am doing as much as I can do it, and I will do it. I can assure you all, I will be there at the forefront against to fight this heinous act. It's a criminal act. To burn this criminal act down. I am more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you. To make laws that can treat all nurses, all doctors, all healthcare professionals equally. And one thing I want to just to say, the British history, or I believe the British history, what you've been taught in the British schools, are completely contrary to what we have taught, what we have learned in the colonial history of India or colonial history of Britain. See, my point is this: we should start teaching the British schools the actual history of colonial era. I tell you, in early 70s and 17th century, the wealth of the entire India was 27% of the entire global. The entire world's 23% of the economy was in India. But when Britain left India in 1947, it was become just 3%. From 23 to 3%. You ask our own children, our own people, how many of us are aware of this? This is the history. This is the British history that has to be taught in the schools. Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to respond to one question which is asked by Paris about the school issues. When they face racism in the school, what they should be doing. And my advice to you is this: do not let it go. Do not let it go. Write to the teachers, write to the head teachers. If it is in Cambridge, I am the equality lead councillor, Cambridge City Council. Write to me and do not let this go. That is the commitment you have to have in mind. Otherwise, they will simply rub it up and we will be having another generation with the same kinds of principle. And another question, what we can do in Cambridge for the employment issues. What I'm going to ask the council, considering the current situation, can we do something where an employee can directly get some kind of help and support either within the city council or through the Citizens Advice Bureau? And I was a volunteer at Cambridge Citizens Advice Bureau, as I do practice employment law. We need some kind of, this is not the first one asking this question in the last 2 weeks. At least 5 or 8 questions I have received. What we can do when we face this in the employment institution? We have to commit ourselves that we will find a solution unless we will eliminate this discrimination from the society and even in the workplace. And plus, trade unions should be playing a vital part in those circumstances. So be part of a trade union, and we can get those policies whereby our equal rights are protected. And again, before I conclude, thank you very much, and I have learned so many new points, and thank you very much, Daniel, and all of you contributed today. Thank you.